Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time, the weekly wrap-up chit-chat that we do every week. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I cut my bangs today. I just felt like I wanted to have, I don't know, something a little bit shorter here that I could just kind of fringe out in the front, but then also I could just kind of brush it back with the rest of my hair if I want to. I did use hot rollers, so they kind of want to curl up like crazy right now, but yeah, I'm liking it. I did have to trim a couple pieces. It looked a little long and unwieldy. I swear my hair grows so fast when I cut it. It doesn't make sense. It defies like science, but which is maybe kind of a good thing, because I was very impulsive when I cut it. I was kind of in a mood, and you probably shouldn't like do those things when you're kind of in a mood, but it's been nice in the summer to have it a little bit shorter. And speaking of nice things in the summer, last Saturday I went to Hollowell, Maine with some friends, three other YouTubes. My friend Karen, who has the YouTube channel Karen Clark Creations, my friend Angela, who has Clark Fine Art, and my friend Shauna, who has Caution Artist at Play. Those YouTube channels, check them out. They're beautiful people. We all got together in Hollowell in this woods called Vaughan Woods, also called Hobbitland, and there's this like beautiful little stone, I can show you actually, beautiful little stone, I drew it in a couple different formats, but a little stone bridge, a little brook, so that's the black and white version. Hopefully that shows up good. And then I also did it in Conte crayon. Actually, I did the Conte crayon first because I thought, oh, I know, I will do a Conte sketch and that'll be nice and quick and easy, and then I will then I'll spend a lot of time on watercolor. That took quite a bit of time, and then the ladies were still working, so I did the pen sketch, which I do intend to watercolor later because I did get plenty of photographs from there, and there were a lot of people coming in front of that the bridge while we were painting in like fairy costumes, like cosplaying and stuff, and doing photographs. And then there were a bunch of like people coming in with teenagers doing senior photos, I think. So it was kind of neat because it was a Saturday. It was kind of bustling. And when we got there, it was really calm. There was hardly anyone there, just people walking their dogs. And when we left, it was busy. Then we went out and grabbed some lunch, and it was so sunny. We were going to go paint by the river, and there was no shade where we were going to go paint. So we thought, well, let's go back to the woods, but there was no parking left. So we're just kind of driving around. And then I spotted this church, and that church right there, it just so happened that it was right next to the boat launch, like right up the hill from the boat launch. You could see a beautiful view from the boat launch, and there were trees and shady areas. So we hung out there and we did some paintings there. And if you go to my Instagram account, you can see the artwork that we all did, because we did kind of like a sketchbook throw down and took photos of everybody's art at the different places we stopped. So that was a lot of fun. Great way to spend a beautiful summer day. And then on Wednesday, my friend Karen and I went out to these waterfalls, which I didn't do a really great photo of any of the waterfall area, but I did sit and do that sketch. But there are photos of the waterfall on my Instagram. And then we stopped at Robin's Acre, which is this place, it's this hill in Solon, Maine, and you can see all like the major like ski mountains from there. And so I actually labeled it while I was there. I'm like, I'm going to try to be accurate, because that's something I was doing with the church, really trying to get my proportions accurate. So I was like holding up my sketchbook and like trying to get it really accurate. And I really liked how that came out. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to try to get these mountains accurate so I can actually label them, and then I'll actually know what mountains I was looking at. So that worked out pretty well. And that right there is up now in Critique Club. I was kind of a little bit stressed out because it was the end of the month, and I'm like, oh my word, I need to get my Critique Club done. My second project for August for Critique Club done. This month has just been kind of a blur, and so I'm like, I need to. It was Tuesday. I'm like, I need to do this today because I've got plans tomorrow. Then I'm going to get my newsletter out on Thursday, because that's my launch the Italy retreat to my newsletter audience on Thursday, and so I had a bunch of things to do. I got to get Critique Club done Tuesday, and I was kind of stressed out, and it wasn't going as well as I'd hoped. And I'll bring it a little bit closer if you want to see. It wasn't going as well as I'd hoped, and of course when you're frustrated, everything looks worse, and so to me everything was just looking terrible, and I was getting really frustrated, but I'm like, you've got to make this work, because you do not have time to do another thing. So I posted the time lapse on YouTube, and I kind of talked about the struggles a bit there, but that's up in Critique Club now if you want to. It's the Sentinel of Monhegan Island, which is next to this shipwreck. on Monhegan, nobody died. It's not a monument. It's, I guess it's kind of supposed to put good luck out to all the sailors, all of the fishermen and stuff. So that's what I heard anyway. I could be wrong, but my husband had taken a photo of it when we were out there last month, and I thought, oh, that would actually be a nice photo because I like the pop of the orange and the blue, and just thought it was kind of nice. So yeah, it's been a pretty busy week. So if you're in Critique Club, you can find that up in the lessons, up in the curriculum. So go check that out if you want to paint along. I was using gouache, and after I'd been using the ceramic palette a bit for some paintings, and I'm like, okay, I want to put out some basic colors. I want to have a light fast gouache palette that I keep using from, so the paint kind of always stays a little moist. And then if I am going to bring in another color, I can just kind of add it as needed. So I filled up the big palette. I'm not going to lift it up here because it's kind of heavy, but I did make a little color wheel to kind of show what the permanent colors I have in there. I basically, yeah, some of the colors are pretty similar, so I don't really need them all in there, but I want to have a split primary for the most part, and then I think I want to get a couple other colors, maybe like a dioxazine violet. I don't know though, because that's such a transparent color anyway, and I can mix a pretty good purple with that. I wouldn't mind a phthalo green or sap green, maybe a cobalt teal, but it's a really great mixing palette as it is, and yeah, I'll have a video on setting that up coming up, but probably by the time that video comes out, I will have tweaked it a little bit more, but that's all right. I just wanted something I could take the lid off of and go. That's kind of what I wanted with the jelly gouache palettes, and that's kind of why I like the jelly gouache palettes, but the quality of the jelly gouache is not as good as the tube gouache that I have. The Anagani is the best quality jelly gouache that I've used, so that's what I would recommend if you want to get one of those palettes, because it's very consistent, very opaque, very matte, very consistent. Seems very pigmented. But like the Miyahime gouaches, I found those just to be kind of like watery and just different. Like I find the Anagani gouache to be more like a tube gouache, honestly, like the consistency of it and the thickness and the opacity of it. I don't know. But the more I've gotten used to using the professional gouache, the more I like it, and the more I don't want to use the jelly gouache and the student grade gouache. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's just something I've been up to this week. Something else I posted this week, I have a tutorial or a video anyway. I didn't really film it like a tutorial because I was just kind of messing around in my sketchbook. I did that one. That video went up on Wednesday of the thistle. And last week, my video, everyone's like, your video title got cut off, so it sounds like it says the life-changing magic of farting instead of the life-changing magic of farting around, you know, like puttering around and stuff. So we all got a kick out of that. I'm just slightly embarrassed, but but it made you click. So I guess in the YouTube, I guess I win YouTube for that title. I don't know. I launched the Italy retreat to the newsletter on Thursday, and by Thursday night it was sold out. So that was pretty exciting. And that's why I had been mentioning joining the Substack newsletter and it's free to join the newsletter. There's always a link in all of my videos. There's a link to that in the description. But that's where I post kind of like I don't know, it might be sales, or it might be just kind of like a monthly wrap up. It's kind of like a special announcement type newsletter once a month at most, for the most part. So I've been telling people the last couple of weeks that the retreat's coming, and then to sign up for the newsletter because they're going to get the first notification. And I sent that out Thursday afternoon, probably around 2 or 3, and then by 5, I think it was sold out. So I'm really excited. Going to Italy. So that's really exciting. I mean, if you didn't get a spot and you wanted to go, join the wait list, because if anyone drops out, then you'll be able to be notified. And that'd be the best way to do it. There's a pretty good chance that someone might drop out and you get a spot. So if you're interested, then go ahead and join the wait list. It doesn't hurt anything to join it if you're interested. You don't have to. You're not committing to anything. So just to give you a heads up there if you want to. It's absolutely risk free. Just join the wait list, and then if a spot opens up, you'll have first refusal basically. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm always nervous when I'm putting together things like this, and I'm like writing the newsletter and everything. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to paint with some old friends and some new friends, and it should be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to that. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've like crammed a whole sat chat in like 9 minutes. Oh, but so Monday, it's been kind of a hectic week. So Monday, I had to take Lila in to get her wisdom teeth out. It was we wanted to get it done so that she'd have plenty of time to heal up before she has her fall semester at school, because she's going abroad. And I wanted to make sure that she, you know, if it was all healed up so there wouldn't be any issues. I also didn't want her to get overseas and then have issues with her wisdom teeth coming through, and then have her so far away and not know how to, like, you know, deal with that. So so we managed to get an appointment, get her in, and everything went as well as to be expected. And so she was kind of just resting up here at home. And then I started to feel, well, I was really tired. I was really tired. I'm always stressed out when there's any medical things, especially with the kids. It just, I'm always stressed out. Like, I've got to make sure we make the appointment. I'll have like nightmares the night before that, like, I scheduled 2 appointments at the same time. You know, I just get very anxious about any sort of interactions with the healthcare industry. That's one of the reasons I'm growing bangs, because bangs rather than Botox, right? I'm getting the lines on my forehead, but I do not want to interact with the medical community or spend that kind of money either. Jeez, let's be honest. I'd rather spend $800 on new pastels than shooting botulism into my forehead for my wrinkles. Bangs it is! Bangs for the win. Anyway, so, you know, I get very nervous because she's never been under anesthesia before. This is the child that went skydiving 2 weekends ago, let me tell you. So, you know, the anxiety. That went great. She loved it. So, yeah, everything went well. I was nervous because she'd never been under anesthesia before. So, you know, that's nerve-wracking. And, yeah, everything went well. And then, so I was tired. I was very tired. I worked late because I knew I was going to be taking Wednesday off to go paint. So I worked late, Monday night, and then Tuesday I was kind of tired, but I'm like, well, you know, I was pretty stressed yesterday. I worked late, that makes sense. And I worked late again Tuesday night because, again, I was taking Wednesday off, so I kind of like made up the difference over a couple of days to work extra to, you know, kind of buy the time back. Plus I knew I'll be working on Saturday because I have the live Altenew class. So it's like, yeah, I can justify taking a Wednesday off. But, you know, being a small business, a one-woman operation, if you're going to take time off, you have to make sure the work gets done. Regardless, if you don't have anyone else to delegate it to, you got to make sure you do it if it's important to get done. Some stuff you can be like, I guess it's not that important, but anyway, there was stuff I had to get done, and I just kind of run down, and I got to bed. Actually, yeah, I got to bed. I actually think I went to bed early then. I think I stopped work around 8 and I went to bed around 9:30, and I slept 9 hours. It was crazy. And so when my friend came over, we didn't know how the weather was going to be. We thought we might gel print here or go out to Waterfalls. The Houston Brook Falls is the name of the falls out in Bingham. But the weather actually looked like it was going to turn out good. So we went, and I was really glad because I'm like, oh, the thought of standing and printing all day, I'm like, that's really tiring sounding. The thought of sitting in a car while someone drives me through scenic areas of Maine, that sounds delightful and that sounds restful. And it was really great. But I was just so tired. And I came home and I was feeling a little nauseous. I was really tired, and by the time I went to bed, my stomach was killing me, and I just felt so nauseous. And I'm like, I didn't even know if I was able to sleep and I cleaned the toilet because I'm like, I have a feeling I'm gonna get up in the middle of the night and barf because I feel so nauseous. I feel like I've got a stomach bug or something. And so I cleaned the toilet, which is great because, hey, it's great to have a clean toilet. Not that it was that bad. I mean, we'll clean it a couple times a week, but I'm like, I want to make sure that puppy is spotless if I have to barf in it in the middle of the night. TMI, I know. You never know what you're going to get with Sat Chat. Sat Chat's like a box of chocolates with barf and toilet cleaning. And it's nothing like a box of chocolates. Those are the worst chocolates ever. Oh my God, send those chocolates back. Who sent me those? Do they have a vendetta? It certainly isn't somebody trying to woo me. I don't want those chocolates. But anyway, went to bed again, 9:30, and I slept for 9 hours again. And yesterday, which was Thursday, also I'm filming this on Friday, so Thursday, I got up and I'm like, oh, I do not feel great. Had a cup of coffee, 1 cup of coffee. I'm like, oh, that's enough. And things were not fine in the kingdom. And so I'll leave it at that. But there was, yes, definitely wanted to limit the input here in the system. And so I took a shower, got dressed, and I'm like, I'm the type of person that has to get up and get dressed. I need to get up, shower, get dressed, like jeans, a dress, something like that is not loungewear. But like I took a shower and I put on loungewear. I put on leggings, athletic leggings, and a t-shirt and a sweatshirt, and I walked the dog, very, very slow paced, leisurely walk. I came back and I'm like, all right, I've got something, I have to get the newsletter out. That's my priority for today. I need to check in with my Altenew class and the Altenew Facebook group, because this is the week where the Let's Mix It Up with Media class is live on Altenew. So I am obligated to check in through the lessons every day to make sure that if there's any questions they get asked, which there seems to be a technical glitch, and I'm not seeing any questions in the classroom, but I'm seeing a bunch on the Facebook page, so I've been interacting there. But anyway, so I'm doing those rounds a couple times a day. Of course, my teachable rounds, which it was just awesome. It's kind of like a treat because I get to see the beautiful artwork you guys are making. So that's not a chore at all. It's just like, they're just the things I have to get done every day. And the newsletter, which I was like, okay, I got to craft a newsletter that's going to want to make people come to Italy with me and paint. So that's a little bit nerve-wracking because it is a big ask, when you're asking people to, like, hey, you might have to get a passport if you don't have one already. It's expensive. You're going to travel to another country. It's a big ask. And even though there's only 16 spots, it's still, that's still a big ask, And I want to make sure that I'm explaining it accurately so people know what to expect, and it's also enticing, and it's something people want to do, I feel like I have lipstick on my teeth. Hope I don't. Anyway, well, if I do, sorry about that. So I had to get that done, and I got all those things done. And I think also partially if I am wearing loungewear or pajamas or whatever, I kind of don't feel like I'm healthy and vibrant and productive. So I actually took my the book that I've been trying to crack open all month up to the deck, and because I figured, well, because I was working in my office with both windows open. It's in the kind of the corner of the house, so I could get a nice cross ventilation, because if I was sick, I wanted to make sure any of my germs were being ventilated outside. And then I went up to the deck and I just read for a couple hours, which was delightful actually, because it was guilt-free reading. And it was funny because I was thinking about this. It's like, wow, I have not read all month. I asked for the recommendations. I hadn't read anything. So I started Girl on the Train. Oh my word, you guys are right. Several of you people, several of you people. That sounds so offensive for some reason. I'm not sure why. But several of you recommended the book Girl on the Train. And wish I didn't curl these bangs because they're like going bananas. Recommended the book Girl on the Train. I am loving it. It's so good. Probably like a quarter of the way through it, but it's so nice. Of course, I had to pick up my phone and scroll every once in a while, so I wasn't like perfectly reading, like buckle down 2 hours reading, but it was so nice. And then I started to think, why haven't I read all summer? I love to come out on the balcony and read. And I think it's because I stopped drinking. And I didn't drink a lot, but one thing I would do was like on Saturday, on Friday night, I would be like done for the week. I would pour myself a big glass of wine. I would go sit on the balcony. I would read for a couple hours, or I'd paint for a couple hours. And maybe I'll do it again on like Sunday or something like that. And so I was probably having more drinks. I thought I was having 2 a week, but pour from home is probably more like a glass and a half. And I probably was doing that twice on the weekends and just kind of thinking, or I was topping it off. And so I probably was drinking a lot more than I thought I was. Still not like in an excessive amount, but I thought it was probably like, so I have a cocktail out with dinner on the weekends, and I'll have like a glass of wine at home, but it was probably more like 2 glasses of wine at home, or maybe even 3 glasses of wine at home. So anyway, since I stopped drinking on August 3rd, and I know that sounds so dramatic, it's not really that dramatic because it was only a couple drinks a week, but because that was kind of, I think, my trigger for it's weekend, it's time to relax. And without that trigger, it's time to relax, I just didn't stop. I just would keep going, keep working, keep on keeping on, I guess. So in that case, that could have actually been a healthy habit. So I just need to make sure that I had my water bottle with me, because I wanted to make sure I was hydrating, since I'd been dehydrated, and we'll leave it at that. And yeah, I felt I got everything I needed to get done, finished, so I felt justified in relaxing. Not that I should feel like we have to have permission to relax, but I think part of it is that I do what I love for a living, so it's like I get to come down here and paint. I get to come down here and putter around with stuff as I think up new ideas. So a lot of that kind of work time, there is a certain amount of like creative downtime, which is very invigorating, which I love. And going and painting with friends, it's not work, but it is kind of work adjacent, and it's productive, right? And I like being productive, and I like to do these different things, but I have a hard time just kind of like relaxing at home, I think, because I work from home, and it's just so easy to go, well, let me go check this thing. Oh, I just remembered something I wanted to do. Let me run downstairs and try it really quick, which is great. on one hand, it's great because it's like, oh, that's a really cool idea. I was watching this video by Liz Chatterton. She's a YouTuber, and she took molding paste, and she had scraped it through a stencil on watercolor paper, and then she painted this really cute frog. And I'm like, I love that. I go, hold on. I got some of that. I ran downstairs and I had to prep a few pages. I prepped the pages. I haven't used them yet. I'm like, oh, I wonder if this one would work. Oh, I have molding paste, but I wonder if this sculpture medium would work. And then I'm like, oh, what about gesso? I haven't done the gesso yet. But then I was like, oh, but if the sculpting medium doesn't work because it's too glossy, I can add some plaster of Paris into that. Then it kind of like one idea leads to another, and then before you know it, it's time for bed, and you haven't actually done the decompressing and the relaxing because you've been so jazzed to try something else, which is kind of the opposite of the funk that I was in at the beginning of the month, which was awful. I'd much rather feel like this energetic buzz of like, yeah, I gotta try that, than, oh, I can't think of anything, like the piano player in Sesame Street that would like bang his head against the keys, like, twinkle, twinkle, little, oh, I can't think of like the next word. Oh, I love that one. But anyway, yeah, this is way better. It's way better to be in this kind of like creative frenzy than it is to be in a creative drought. But it would be nice to have a little bit of a balance, where it could be like, okay, I've worked enough today. I deserve a little time chilling and reading, instead of like, I still have energy left, so I should clean the house. Or, I mean, I like to have a clean house. I might barf later, so I better clean those toilets. Oh, luckily I didn't throw up, because that's such a bad feeling. Oh, I hate that. But yeah, Lila got a little sick too, so I think she also might have that same stomach bug. If it is a stomach bug, I don't know. It could have just been like stress and anxiety too. I don't know. But anyway, because I was a little stressed out about launching the Italy retreat, because I didn't know if people would sign up, because like last year when I did the France one, it sold out really quick, and then the person that had the week after me at the same retreat, the same property, couldn't fill their roster in time, so they asked me if I wanted it and to stay an extra week and to teach that, but I would need to start from scratch, like filling it up. It's not like those students, if you're going to a retreat, you sign up with a teacher, you don't want to just take some other rando teacher that you don't even know. So I totally understand that. But I couldn't fill that second week. So I was kind of like nervous. It's like, okay, what if like nobody wants to come because they, everybody that wanted to go is already gone. And there's quite a few people from the first retreat that's coming to the second one, which will be fun. That'll be nice, a little bit of icebreaker there. And then there'll be some new people, so that'll be great, because bringing the like mix, a nice mix of people. I just know everybody that's coming are really nice people, and I'm sure the people that have signed on to come that are new to the group will be really nice, and it does take a little bit of the pressure off, but you're still kind of worried. It's like, well, maybe that was a fluke that people signed up last time, and because then you're like, well, what, you just don't know. I'm so glad that people signed up that came to the last one, because otherwise you'd kind of be like, oh, they didn't they have that kind of like confirmation that they went before and they liked it enough to come back. I think that's a huge validation, I guess. It feels good. It feels good that people liked it enough to want to come back. And so very excited. Very excited. It's going to be so much fun. I haven't decided if we're going to go early or stay late, husband and I, because it would be kind of nice to go early and kind of get a feel for the land, and maybe just have a few days of vacation before I started working. Because it is, I'm very cognizant of making sure everybody has a good time and everybody is learning stuff. And I have confidence that I'm going to be a better teacher this time than I was last time. Last time I think was fine, but I have some things that I think would improve the retreat a lot, and just give people more if they want it. And if they don't, then obviously they can, do their own thing and relax a bit. But I think I want a little bit more structure, so that I'm sure that I'm meeting their expectations and giving them, what they want. But yeah, that's, you live and learn, right? You live and then you get better, better, and then you do better. And I'm not going to prescribe anything for anybody else. All I know is for my life, if I learn something, then I try to implement it, like when I saw that alcohol was a class 1 carcinogen, I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm willing to take that risk, even if it's the risk is low for a couple of drinks a week. I don't think I'm willing to take that risk, and no shame or judgment. Anybody else wants to take that risk? It's just like, I'm sure there are things that I do that have a risk to them. you know, walking the dog on the street every day. There's a certain amount of risk there that I'll get hit by a car or something like that. I mean, there's a certain amount of risk with everything we do. I guess you just got to pick your poison. I don't know. Yeah, just got to do what you know, what is worth it for you. And yeah, no judgment here. I feel like I should have had more things to talk about today. I had a list. Oh my gosh. So this is something, and let me know if you know a better alternative. So there's a glue that I really enjoy for bookbinding called Yes Paste. And I bought a couple big containers of it many, many years ago. And I think it was on clearance at Joann's, or it must have been maybe it was AC Moore or Joann's or something, because we didn't have a Michael's up here at that time, unless I got them in the Augusta Michaels. I don't know. But anyways, I got a big jar for like, I think I paid $10 for it, and I got a smaller jar that was probably like 16 ounces for like $4, and I got like the 32 ounce one for like, I don't know, $6, $8, I don't know. But, and it's this really thick, I think it's a wheat paste, maybe it's a rice paste, I'm not sure, but it's a really thick paste. And so you pull it out with like a palette knife, and you can scrape it on your paper or your board, and then you can put your paper down. Like say you've got your book cover, you'd scrape that on there with like a credit card or a palette knife, and then you put your book paper on there, and you can move it around, you can adjust it, get it just right, and it dries really slow. If you don't cover everything up, if you have like a bit of it on the outside of the cover, it will be sticky. Like, I don't know why, like grabs moisture from the air or something, but it doesn't mold. Like in the jar. It was just a really great paste, and I think like regular prices weren't that bad. I think regular price for like the small jar was like $10, and for the big one was like maybe 20 or 16 or 20 or something. And I was recommending that paste to somebody, and they're like, do you know how expensive that stuff is now? Well, I looked, and it's like $24 for the small jar. I thought that was crazy. And I don't know of any other paste like it. It's just so thick, but it's not like your old school paste that's kind of thick but crumbly chunky. It's like this really thick, smooth paste. And part of me is thinking there's probably a way to make it, but then anytime I've ever made paste, like a wheat paste, like for paste paper or for like paper mache, you have to use it up within like a week. You have to store it in the fridge or use it up, or it will go moldy. I remember doing paper mache in my studio downtown, which did not have I think I had a window AC unit in there in the summer, but I mean I didn't leave that on all night, and it would get pretty warm in those old downtown buildings, and that paste would be moldy in a couple of days. You had to use it up. So I don't know. I'd like to find an alternative that was a little bit less expensive. I don't even understand why it's so expensive. It doesn't seem like the ingredients, if it's just a wheat paste, would be that expensive. So I don't know. And I've also heard that it can yellow over time. I haven't had that experience, but some people that were using it as collage for tissue paper on front of like their watercolor paintings, they've noticed a browning over time. So I don't know, maybe they've changed the formula to avoid that, and that's why it's more expensive. I don't know. If anybody has any information about the current state of Yes Paste, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have a link to the Up Truck Retreat if you want to sign up for the waiting list in the comments below as well, and a link to that, to Critique Club if you want to go check out that tutorial. Thank you so much for being here for Sat Chat and being a subscriber if you are, and if not, hey, just thanks for watching, I guess. Okay, as always, happy crafting. Bye!